In this video, we'll take an early look at the 2024 Week 1 main slate on FanDuel, and we'll focus in on tight ends. And it's coming up next. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Lee with the Fantasy Football Consultants. All right, in this video, we're going to talk about tight ends, but we've also done shows on quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers for FanDuel, and links to those shows, when available, are in the description. Now, we know some news is going to come out. We'll change some of our comments about tight ends, so we're going to be committed to do full cash lineup on FanDuel with our favorite GPP plays closer to the start of the season. So please smash the like button and hit the red subscriber button, followed by the bell icon to make sure you don't miss any of our future content. And if you do me one favor, go to the comment section and put your favorite Week 1 tight end and tell us why. All right, let's get into the studio and take a look at the tight ends. All right, folks, I know in our society it's tough. The cost of groceries are up. The cost of gas is up. And apparently the cost of Sam Laporta is up. $8,000. Man, inflation is high. But I understand it. Look, the guy was the best tight end in football last year. In 20 games as a rookie, he caught 107 passes and 11 TDs, and he only got stronger as the season went along. Look what he did in the two playoff games. His last two playoff games, he caught 9 passes in each of those games. Laporta has established himself on this Detroit offense as the best weapon around the goal line. Inside the 10 last year, he caught 9 of 12 passes, scoring 5 touchdowns and 2 times converting 2-point conversions. So great player and playing in a great game environment. Playing on Sunday night, which FanDuel has added that Sunday night game to the main slate. He is at home. He's a favorite and a whopping 27.5 point total. So I get it. I get it that he's $8,000. So if you find great value elsewhere because news comes up and you can get like a free square running back or something, and you have the money, you have my permission to pay up for Sam Laporta. But man, you can save $1,600 and get Trey McBride. Trey McBride last year, once he became a starter, his numbers were really good. Over 6.5 receptions a game for 66 yards. Effectively, he became the most productive tight end in all of football in the last 10 games of the regular season. And if you look at this Cardinal roster, it hasn't changed a lot. Basically, they swapped the Hollywood Brown as the number 1 wide receiver for their first-round draft pick wide receiver, Marvin Harrison. Any way that you slice it, McBride's going to be a heavy part of this offense. If you're looking for something negative to say about him this week, it's not a great game environment. He is on the road. He is an underdog against the Buffalo Bills with just a 21 implied total. If you are considering someone else, though, who I think is my favorite guy on FanDuel, at least as of this moment, we'll see if the news changes for me, Evan Engram at only $6,200. Let's be clear, folks. Evan Engram led all tight ends in receptions, and it wasn't even close. He had 114 receptions. That was 19 more than anyone else. The guy works the middle of the field and catches short passes, so he almost has a guarantee to be a reception hog. If you want to criticize him, he only got in the end zone 4 times last year. But even that, there is some good news. Red zone hog wide receiver Calvin Ridley is gone, and they didn't really replace him with any other big name. So I think that there's going to be more opportunities to utilize Evan Engram close to the goal line. Now, this game should be a shootout. It's Jacksonville with Miami. It's one of the highest over-unders on the board. But you may be looking at this screen and say, Eric, I don't know how you can recommend Evan Engram. Last year, Miami's pass defense was so good. Well, if you want to talk about last year, the defense specifically against tight ends was not good. So this could very well be an Evan Engram game. Other guy to consider around this price period is Jake Ferguson, but only on one condition. And that one condition is if CeeDee Lamb is still in contract squabbles and is not playing in week one. Why do I say that? CeeDee Lamb takes so much of this offensive pie in receptions. He had a third of the production of this entire team was CeeDee Lamb. So if CeeDee Lamb doesn't play, definitely would expect more opportunities for Jake Ferguson, and I would definitely consider him if that was the case. Another guy around this price zone is David Njoku, and this guy has been solid. Very athletic tight end. He accounted for 24% of the total team's receiving yards, which is second best of all of the NFL. Now, if you're wondering, what is the negative about David Njoku? Here's one. He doesn't usually do very well with quarterback Deshaun Watson. In the games that Deshaun Watson has started, in those full 10 games with Deshaun Watson, he's averaged only about 3.5 receptions a game for 34 yards. And in those 10 games, only a total of 3 TDs. And of course, I would expect in week one, the starter will be Deshaun Watson. So that tempers a little of my excitement with David Njoku. Now, you might say, Eric, okay, I know you like Evan Engram. I know you like Trey McBride. But what if I wanted to go on the cheap at tight ends? What guys on FanDuel catches your eye? Well, I'll tell you the cheap tight end that I am most interested in taking a look at. How about Zack Herz? So you guys remember Zack Herz was Arizona's tight end playing with head coach Cliff Kingsbury. And then he basically lost his job after the first few weeks to Trey McBride. But look, he was being utilized certainly in that offense, in the Cliff Kingsbury offense before Trey McBride came over. Now he being Zack Ertz is on Washington. And guess who Washington's offensive coordinator is? It is Cliff Kingsbury. In the basically 21 games that those two have been connected, Ertz and Kingsbury, he's gotten almost 5 receptions a game with a total 7 TDs out of those 21 games. Not bad, especially for a guy who's sub $5,000 on FanDuel. Now, you might say, well, is there a competition? Not really. They did draft in the second round Ben Stinnett. Just watch the news. Look at the depth chart. Who is going to be tight end 1? Now, that's exactly where they drafted Trey McBride. And it took Trey McBride a couple games before he took over the lead. So I would expect in week one, it would be Zack Ertz. And look, he faces the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you go, well, they're middle of the road versus the pass. But check this out. Dead last against tight ends. So as a flyer and a cheap option, I do like Zack Ertz. By the way, if Stinnett is the lead tight end, I mean, he's even cheaper. He's $4,400. I just am a little nervous, even if he's listed as the lead tight end 1, being a rookie, trusting him in week 1. So those are the key guys I think on FanDuel you should be looking at. One more I'll talk about at $5,100 is Cole Kmet. Man, he has really carved himself last year a very nice role in this Chicago offense. The concern, though, is they have brought in Keenan Allen and they drafted Rome Odunze. So will that hurt his role? He has been so reliable around the goal line. Inside the 10, he was their favorite target last year. It wasn't DJ Moore. He caught 8 of 13 targets with 7 total TDs. And here's a nice thing. He is a reliable guy to catch the ball. He had the best tight end drop rate of all of football. He only dropped 1 pass and caught 73. So that's pretty impressive. All right, those are the things that we think you should consider for tight ends. Again, I want to hear what you guys think. Put it in the comment section on FanDuel with the FanDuel pricing. Who's your favorite tight end? And be sure to check out our other content in the description. Until next time, take care, everybody. We'll put up 2 videos we think that you'll enjoy.